Hello, my guys. Welcome to another episode of the Micro Kicks. The transfer window is heating up as usual. Speculations, information from all rounds as the hour goes by. So today we're going to talk about Chelsea's transfer story and other club-related stories as well. You recall that Chelsea needs a left winger and Chelsea needs a right winger and probably any other position in which Chelsea feel it is necessary to get another player. But today, let's start with the latest. According to Fabrizio Romano, Nico Williams is a priority for Chelsea and Arsenal, but the player is very comfortable at Atletico Bilbao and they want to renew his contract. So the fact is, this story has been coming on and going off and coming on and going off. You recall at the start of this transfer window, it was Nico Williams. At the time, it went off. At the point, it was Real Madrid being interested in Nico Williams. Now, it is back to Chelsea and Arsenal. Now, Nico Williams is an exciting player. For a player at this age to be a regular starter for the Spain national team, then you should know what he has in him. He's a kind of player I will rate, at almost the same level or lower a bit to Leao. Look at what they did during the Heroes. Like, they dismantled everything that came their way. And he even scored in the final. So you could see how brilliant he is on the wings. And one thing I like about him is the fact that he could play either wings. He's a right footer, he's a left footer. He could play the right wings, he could play in the left wing. And that's one thing that can give a player an edge over the other, which is the ability for you to be versatile in each positions. And when there's a need for you to actually deputize in a particular position, you're there. And one thing I like about him as well is his output. When it comes to goals and assists, he's there. When it comes to take-ons, he's there. When it comes to speed, he's there. When it comes to work rate, he's there. When it comes to tracking back and helping the defense, he's that good. And he's very young as well. So that's one thing I like about Nico Williams. And also, Arsenal as well interested. Now, the stumbling block that might be for Chelsea is the wage. Currently, Nico Williams is earning 200k in Atletico Bilbao. It's not going to worth more than 70 million thereabouts, which Chelsea could easily pay or negotiate with in paying. But the fact is, are Chelsea willing to break their wage structure to sign this kind of quality? That's the question. Because this is the Champions League. Chelsea will be in the Champions League. Chelsea will play in the Club World Cup. And in these competitions, you want to go far. In these competitions, you want to compete. In these competitions, you want to try as much as possible to win the competition. Now, in order to win this kind of competitions, you need quality. And quality doesn't come cheap. Quality comes at a premium. Are you willing to pay him even more? Because if you're leaving your club currently, coming to the Premier League or Chelsea or whichever club, you need to be paid higher than where you're coming from. Or at least match it and add up a little to what you're currently earning. He's currently earning 200k in Spain. So the fact is, will Chelsea be willing to pay 250? Will Chelsea be willing to pay 300? That's the fact. That's the thing. That's the only stumbling block we could have in this deal. And Arsenal can have an edge. Because Arsenal right now are paying salaries. Imagine how much they are paying Havertz. So that's one thing with him. This is a player that helped Atletico Bilbao come fourth in the league. They qualified for the Champions League. Chelsea as well finished fourth. Atletico Bilbao finished in the semi-final of the Europa League. They were beaten by Manchester United. We know how that went. Now, he had 45 appearances, 11 goals and 7 assists during the course of this season. Not bad for a winger. But I believe he's a player that can do more if he has more quality around him. Look at his output in the Spain national team. Now you understand what he could bring, to the game. So, to me, if Chelsea actually decides to go for this deal, it's going to be a good one. Because currently, we don't have any left winger apart from George. Sancho has gone back to Manchester United. Modric is nowhere near the team for the foreseeable future. So what do? We need to go into the market and get 2 good wingers or probably one premium winger and, another backup. So at this point, Chelsea needs to go as quick as possible. Chelsea needs to act as quick as possible. Now, is it that we are going to negotiate this deal or we'll go for an alternative? And who's the alternative? Come with me. Now, according to this report from Sky Sports, it says Rafael Leão wants to leave AC Milan. and the club have been informed. Understand they want at least 70 million guaranteed. Leao is on Bayern's list and has exclusively revealed. There have been contacts and phone calls, but nothing is advanced or concrete at this stage. Bayern are currently not preparing an offer. Bayern are still considering several options and profile as possible replacement for Coman and Sané on the left attacking side. Now, let's check another report concerning Rafael Leão. Now, the report still simply states that Rafael Leão is available for 70 million. Now, Bayern are interested. And so the fact is, Bayern will likely lose Coman and or Sané. One of them will actually leave the club. Now, they want to replace either of these players with Rafael Leão. And Leão is also open to coming to the Premier League. He's also open to playing for Chelsea. Currently, he earns 125k in AC Milan. And for the last few years, AC Milan has not actually got it right. Even this season, they had two coaches. They started with Fonseca, and on the long run, they sacked Fonseca. They brought in Conceição, and Conceição has currently been sacked. And now they have a new coach, which is Allegri. So when it comes to stability, you can't find it with AC Milan. AC Milan is not a team that is really stable when it comes to coaches. So that's one for a fact. And it can affect any player's performance going forward, because each coach comes with a different strategy. Each coach comes with a different style of play. Each coach comes with a different demand. So for him right now, it seems this is the best time for him to make a step up in his career. I've always rated Rafael Leão. That's the fact. Because if you watch how instrumental he was to AC Milan winning the league 2-3 years ago, I think 3 years ago thereabouts or so, he was so good for that team. He was brilliant. But ever since, the team in general, which is AC Milan, has really not been good. You know, they've been on a downward trajectory ever since then. And they've not really come close to winning the league ever since. And for this player, Rafael Leão, he has so much talent in him. He can beat a player. He has a good work rate. You know, he knows how to score. He knows how to shoot. He knows how to give assists. He has a whole lot in him. Now, is this the player Chelsea would actually want to go for? I don't know. No, because if Chelsea are actually considering him at this point, it might be for the fact that his salary can be on the same range for, you know, what we are trying to offer right now on the market. Because Chelsea will, at this point, are not willing to break their salary structure. Chelsea at this point are not willing to break their salary, you know, cap at this point. So Rafael Leão can be a very good buy, obviously, because he's a player that possesses a lot of brilliant attributes. When it comes to breaking low block, he's there. When it comes to a player playing on the counter, he's there. But my only concern right now is the attitude when it comes to the demands of the Premier League. His attitude when it comes to the demands of Maresca. Will he be a player that is willing to track back? Will he be a player that is willing to fight for the team? Will he be a player that is willing to give his all for the team? To me, I will rate Nico Williams over him because of Nico Williams' flexibility on the pitch and in different positions, and his ability to actually track back, his ability to actually help. Rafael Leão is another player that has a different profile entirely. He's only good and visible on the left-hand side. Cutting in and scoring is very good with that. So AC Milan finished 8th this season. They are not going to be in Europe. And Rafael Leão has like an 8 goal, 8 assists the whole season. That's like 16 goal and assists in the whole season. So I don't think it's really too bad. But to me, I think he can do more. He's not a starter for Portugal as well. But I think if it comes to Chelsea, he will be welcome in an environment which will give him the ability for him to thrive. He will be surrounded with quality players in which he will be willing to, you know, take the bull by the horn and perform at the highest level. So let's watch this space. Let's see how it goes. To you as a Chelsea fan, if you are given the leverage to pick between Nico Williams and Rafael Leão, who would you go for? And tell me why in the comment section. So let's move ahead. Let's watch this space. Now to the next story. Trevoh Chalobah is attracting interest from Napoli. Chelsea have been delighted with Chalobah's performance and attitude since returning from his loan spell at Crystal Palace and are not actively looking to sell him. Any right-thinking sporting director, any right-thinking owners right now will not allow Chalobah go. He could be a squad player, for crying out loud. Look at his performance and what he did at Crystal Palace. If he didn't really perform to that level, Chelsea wouldn't call him back. If he didn't really perform to how Chelsea actually want him to perform, Chelsea wouldn't call him back. So he's a player that doesn't complain. He's a player that any game time he sees, he's happy with it. He's a player that when he comes into the squad, he gives his all. He performs at the highest level. And look at what he did towards the end of the season with Chelsea. You could see what he did towards the end of the season in the Premier League. You could see how much he performed. You could see the level of which he brings to the team towards the end of the season, where Chelsea needed to win those games. With Manchester United, Chelsea won with Chelsea won versus Manchester United. You know, the very last game of the season at Nottingham Forest. You could see his contribution to this team. So Chelsea right now should not be attracting any offer for him at this point. He has proven everybody wrong. He has proven, you know, the coach, the sporting directors, and the owners wrong, that he could be a very, very key figure going into next season. And when it comes to squad depth, these are the kind of players you need going into next season. Now, let's watch this space. Let's go to the next story. According to Dimasio, it says Osimhen agrees personal term with Hilal, around 5 million gap on club side between Hilal bid and Napoli. The fact is, this deal is as good as done. Galatasaray are pushing and putting more pressure for them to actually be the front runner to secure the signing of Victor Osimhen. But the fact is, Galatasaray cannot match Hilal presently right now. Hilal and the Saudi Arabia as a whole are the league right now that can match anybody's salary in the world currently. So Victor Osimhen has always been vocal when it comes to his salary demands, and that's not bad. That's not a bad thing. So this is what he wants. He has seen himself at that level that should not be receiving less. He has seen himself at that player that his quality demands him to be paid well. You know, and I don't have a problem with that. The fact is, he's inching closer to Saudi Arabia, and I've spoken a whole lot about him in the last couple of days in my videos. So you can go back and check some of my videos on how much I spoke about Victor Osimhen. The fact is, this deal is as good as done. Hilal came close last summer to signing him, but he went to, you know, he waited for Chelsea instead, and at the end of the day, he went to Galatasaray. So Galatasaray were pushing and are still pushing to get the deal done, but I think this deal is as good as done. Let him go, let him earn his money, because at the end of the day, if you don't show trophy, you show what you earn while playing football. And currently right now, Chelsea are not interested in him because of the salary demands, and I think it's time for him to go to Saudi and earn his money. So let's go to the next story. According to Fabrizio, understand Arsenal have started initial concrete talk for Benjamin Šeško deal. He is always high on the recruitment team management. Arteta lists with attempts to get the deal done rejected by Leipzig in May 2024. So that was last year, and now Sesko will leave. Now let's read another tweet, you know, from Fabrizio concerning Sesko again. Understand Arsenal now advancing in negotiation for Benjamin Šeško. Initial concrete talks reported last week. Decision on the way and proceedings well between all parties involved, players and club. No agreement yet now, but expected this weekend, but advancing. The fact is, at the end of the day, Mikel Arteta and Bata, that's the sporting director of Arsenal, have actually come to a truce and an agreement to go for Sesko. Sesko, fantastic player, and he will suit the Arsenal system. Arteta has always been a fan of him. Arteta has always wanted him. I know, you know, he has this Erling Haaland kind of physique, and he has a very good shot power. And Arsenal are a team that likes, you know, set piece, and he's very tall. He could use his head, and he has a very good jump. So at the end of the day, he's going to fit the Arsenal system. Arsenal has been crying for a number 9 figure. Arsenal has been crying for a striker. You know, this season they played most of the season without a number 9 striker because Havertz was injured majority of the season. And Sesko coming into the team will be a lot of difference for the Arsenal team. And I think he's going to work in that system. So right now they are very, very close. You know, negotiations are going on. Arsenal are very close. Mikel Arteta actually wants him because this is Mikel Arteta's dream to have him in his team as his number 9. Please tell me what you think about everything I've spoken about today. Tell me what you think about Nico Williams, Rafael Leão. Tell me what you think about Osimhen getting close to Saudi Arabia. Tell me what you think about the Chalobah deal. Tell me what you think about Sesko and Kepa. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. If you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Share your thoughts in the comments. Until I come away again next time, I remain your boy Mike Way. Stay cool. Cheers.